welcome to another exciting episode of Tuesdays with Titan. Today, I am sitting with Mr. John Lemire, who is a biologist by training, has created global scientific expeditions, worked on award-winning films, and has also shaped international environmental policy. He currently serves as Quebec's Special Envoy for Climate Change, Nordic and Arctic Affairs, and first in the province diplomatic history to hold such a role. Mr. Lemire.
It's a pleasure.
A biologist, an author, a filmmaker, and now a Special Envoy. So your journey seems to be very interesting, both unique and interesting, and at the same time very inspiring. So what were the key moments in this entire journey which shaped this path?
Oh, that's probably when I decided to become somebody who will make the communication with the public. So when we decided to buy a boat and we started to do expedition, we created also something that was really special at that time. We were on internet at the time where there were no Facebook, Twitter, or etc. So, and we created a real link with the public. So for me, education is always the most important part of what we do. If we want to have real victories in the environment, we have to have the public with us. So that's, with the boat, with the expedition that we created in Arctic and Antarctic and around the world, we were able to keep that link with the public all the time. So we were just normal people doing some extraordinary things around the world, but always with lots of humility and lots of, with the eyes of the regular public. So that was the key.
And then moving here as a Special Envoy.
Yeah.
So how was this entire journey?
That was really special actually, because I did lots of films, I did lots of books, and I realized that if I really want to change things, I have to be closer to the policymakers. So I decided to try. At first, I said, well, I'm gonna try when they offered me to be the Special Envoy, and then it's 8 years now, so I think that I like it.
So how important do you think is science communication when it comes to interacting with public and making some influence to overall environmental policies and public behavior?
Well, it's the key, it's and I saw it over all my career. The public will influence the policymakers, will influence the politician, and this is, if you want to have change, you have to have the public with you. So for that, communication is the key, because when I started talking about climate change long time ago, we had to explain everything. What was the GHG emission, and we had to explain everything. Now, of course, the public understand, and they realize also that what we were saying in the beginning of like when we did the Northwest Passage with our boat, it was in 2002. At that time, what we said was a little bit, lots of people said, what are they talking about? Because climate change was not really popular. Now they realize that what we were saying is we're right in the middle of those climate change, and you can see the real effect on it. So education and communication with the public permits to increase the general knowledge of the population, and for me it's the key. We will not have any gain in the environment if the public is not putting the pressure on policymakers.
You've also shaped international environmental policy. So can you talk about it, like especially involving the public how the dissemination, how did the communication helped you in shaping that international environmental policy, and what policy are we talking about exactly?
Well, I can give you the example of when the government of Quebec decided to stop all exploration and exploitation of fossil fuels. You know, this is something that the public asked. This is something that our premier decided to present, and all the other party were, in favor. So, but this is really something that the public was pushing a lot, So the premier here, that call from the public, and now we have a law, and we are also co-chairing the Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance in the world to give an example of the importance to phase out from fossil fuels. So for us, that's a good example from the public to the policymaker to the law, and now bring other people from around the world to be part of BOGA, of the Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance.
You spoke about your expeditions. You said when we talk about climate change, you spoke about your expeditions in Arctic region and all other places. So I believe the Arctic and Nordic region, they are the frontliners when it comes to the climate change. So what do you think are the key lessons which the rest of the world can learn from these fragile geographies?
Well, lots of people think that the Arctic is really far, and so, who cares, because it's really far. It's sad to see a poor polar bear, but it doesn't touch us because we don't have a polar bear, in our backyard. But all that is it's not the reality. The Arctic and the Antarctic, by the way, are at the heart of our global climate system. So if we lose the Arctic, if we lose the what we call the albedo effect, that reflection of the light of the sun on the ice or on the snow, then we will absorb more and more energy, and I mean, it's gonna create damage for the entire planet. Right now, we are heading to around an increase of around 3 degrees in the global system. But
yes,
that means that for the Arctic, we're more talking about 9 degrees increase. At 9 degrees, of course, all the ice will be gone, and then we will absorb more and more energy. And this is that energy in the system that is released when we have storm. So if you have more energy, the storm will be stronger. So it will affect everybody. We have proved that the quantity of ice in the Arctic is directly linked with the quantity of water that you have here during monsoon. So everything is linked. We have to think the planet as a global system, and we are part of that global system.
Absolutely. And it's not just that the planet's to be considered as a entire global system, but also you'll agree that water, climate change, biodiversity, these all are deeply interconnected. So as we come from the water sector, I would like to know from you that what role do you think water can play at the global climate diplomacy, if we talk about it?
Well, first of all, water is life.
Yeah.
You don't have water, you don't have life. I think also that it's going to become a real peace symbol or war symbol. So water will divide population, countries, but water can also unify people and countries. And this is something really, really important, because again, we cannot see just the water. just the biodiversity or just the climate. It's a complete system, and we have to think like citizen of the world, because if we don't do that, we will be in conflicts, and water will be a source of conflict a lot. So we have to really, again, see all that like something very important. In biodiversity, for example, we have signed in Montreal the Montreal framework, where we have the engagement to preserve 30% of all our fresh water by country. So that's a first step. We have to increase that. We have to see that this is part of nature. We are part of nature, so we want to protect the nature, because by protecting the nature, we are protecting ourselves also.
Okay. So looking ahead, what is your vision for 2030 agenda? Where is the hope?
Where's the hope? The hope is, for me, in the young generation. I mean, they're great. I think that they will, of course, they will have the power of change. They will be at the head of countries, and I hope they will bring a new way of thinking. The relation with the environment. The young generation, they have, they already know the importance of nature and all that. So that's my real hope for tomorrow. 2030, it's tomorrow. We will have also to see what was our engagement in terms of climate, biodiversity and all that. I can tell you all that in climate we will not reach our goal. That's for sure. It's even if lots of people would like to control the increase of temperature at 1.5, which is in the Paris Agreement. To be honest, it won't happen. We're already at 1.2. We won't be able to stop the increase of temperature. So, for that, it's not very good news. Maybe in biodiversity, we will be able to make some gain, but we have to take the old man like me and push them aside and bring the young generation, so their voice will be much better than my old voice, to create a real wind of change that will, I think, will become the real hope for tomorrow.
I think I agree with you, and not about pushing the old voice, because under the guidance of the people who can share their experience, the new generation can definitely learn and build a better future for themselves.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mr. Lemire. It was wonderful connecting with you and talking to you, You shared your insights and your journey. I'm sure a lot of our readers of Water Digest and the viewers of WD News will find it informative and inspiring. So as we come to the end of this interview piece, maybe if you could share one message for the readers of Water Digest and for the viewers of WD News. There you go.
Well, keep dreaming. I think that it's the most important thing. If you want to have hope, you have to keep your dream alive. So keep dreaming.